Doing a dance.
Everyone, happy full moon, blessed Beltane. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Witch Times Television. I'm Goddess Rhonda, and of course, with us our beautiful Goddess Starr.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
It looks beautiful in it.
Oh, thank you, darlings. I was doing my.
Everybody in the chat room, tell me, is green her color or what? Let me know.
It's one of my colors. It's not my. Okay, guys. It is just not my signature color, but it's one of the colors.
There you go. And so, as always, I'm sorry. What were you going to say, Goddess Starr?
No. It's not that big deal. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, as always, we like to cast a circle of protection around us before we begin.
Yeah. I need some more incense.
Hang on, darlings. It's just taking a
I'll add some more incense in the meantime.
Okay, now we're cooking with gas, as they used to say.
Yeah.
Also, our lords and ladies of the East, our brothers and sisters, our brother and patron, the sacred element of air, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is, so mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the South, my brothers and sisters, my brother and patriot, sacred element of fire. Namaste, divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is, so mote it be.
So it is, so mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the West, our brothers and sisters, our sister and patron, the sacred element of water, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is, so mote it be.
Thank you, and so it is, so mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the North, my brothers and sisters, my sister and patron, the sacred element of the earth. Namaste, divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is, so mote it be.
So it is, so mote it be. And we now bring down the divine white light from the sacred source of all well-being and fill all of our spaces with peace and protection always. So it is, so mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be. All right.
All right, gods and goddesses, we are ready.
You noticed that, right? You did notice that. I forgot my water. So what do I have here? Coconut water. So I said, oh, well, water is water.
Hey, and you know what? Coconut water is supposed to be very hydrating.
Yeah, it is. There you go. My water.
All righty. I hope I have, oh, good. I have my water and my wine and my coffee. I'm good to go. All righty. So tonight, first of all, hello, everyone.
Yeah.
In the chat room, all of our beautiful brothers and sisters in there. I see that Goddess Judy is still determined to get Goddess Starr's wine. And Jude, I'm telling you, I know that you are persistent and determined, but you are really barking up the wrong because she will take it to her grave. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no.
Ask questions and try and get it. It's just unfortunately, you know, she suffered from from her generosity before, and now she's not going to do that anymore. I'm just saying, you know, it's up to you.
She's going to keep trying it. It's so funny. I'm looking at the reading and I'm going, Starr, What's the name of that wine? So innocent. She's so funny. She's hilarious.
You guys are so funny. And see, everyone is agreeing with me, Goddess Starr. You look great in green. Hey, Jakey, it's so good to see you here.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. We've got Raven, our Goddess Raven, our Goddess Judy, our Goddess Tina, who writes in caps, get your own wine. Oh, that is so funny. You guys crack us up.
Yeah.
Bright blessings to you, Goddess Jasmine, and we are sending energy and good vibes right now to your auntie and her grandbaby, and may they be blessed with good health and strength and happiness and peace forever with our gratitude.
Yeah.
Okay, what else have we got here? Oh, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let me get my notes here. And we're going to start off, we're talking about past life regression, sort of going into the spiritual realm, spiritual, emotional, mental, whatever, subconscious, however you want to term it, realms tonight. But a lot of them are inside of ourselves, like the past life regression. I guess we could call it more like soul journeying, but in different modalities, is we're going to talk about.
And people call it many different names.
Yes, they do.
So just so you guys know, they may have a different name, but it all kind of means. I'm hearing an echo, so let me double check and make sure that I am muted.
I'm pretty sure I muted myself, but and I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I've heard it called soul retrieval, past life regression.
I'm sorry.
So many things. What?
I apologize for laughing, but I just happened when I was checking to see if I was on mute, I just happened to glance at the chat room, and I said that you were going to take the name of your wine to the grave. Okay. And Goddess Judy goes, okay, I'll meet you at the grave.
And I can just see her waiting there going, Goddess Starr, hi, I've met you.
That was
you said, Goddess Rhonda said, I will meet you at the grave. So here I am. Girl, to you, girl.
You know what? That was brilliant. I need to raise my glass to you.
I know. All right, Goddess Judy. There you go, girl.
Goddess Judy. You're all right with me.
Yeah, me too.
Although, to be fair and on your side, in your defense, it's Goddess Starr who brags about the wine all the time. You notice I say nothing about my wine, and then I never have to worry because it's always there.
I know, right? I'm like sitting there going, this is so good.
This is so delicious.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, I'm in kind of a silly mood today, but let's go ahead. We're going to roll forward. So we were talking about shamanic journeying, soul journeying, like Goddess Starr said. People have a lot of different names for it, and there's different aspects you can do. Past life regressions, shamanic journeying, future life progression. There's a lot of things, but what made me want to talk about this particularly today, I'd already had decided to talk about past life regressions and things like that. But this morning, when I got up, I decided I haven't gone on a shamanic journey in a long time. I used to go on them all the time, mainly because to me they're almost like vacations, right, Goddess Starr?
Oh gosh, yes, it does feel like that. Remember Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like you took that mental vacation, and it was so vivid. That's what those are like.
So if you've never been on one, you might want to actually consider giving it a try, because it's like you're on a vacation. You go to different realms and different worlds, or you stay in this realm and explore that. There's a lot of different places you can go, but I mainly did it to enjoy going, often for advice and guidance too, but I would like to go just to basically to get away. It's a way to get away and journey. And I've been so busy and overwhelmed lately with all the stuff that I have to do that I have not gone on. I can't even remember.
Me either. I'll tell you honestly. I think that's
on a journey. And so I was laying in bed. I slept in a little bit today. And I was laying there and I said, I really should get up. I've got all this stuff to do. And it was just like something inside me said, you know what? Since you're laying here anyway, why don't you go on a shamanic journey? Just go somewhere else for a little while, get some guidance. Because there's a lot of career assessments that I'm doing. There's a lot of things that I want to do, much like Goddess Starr. We want to do everything, but you can't do everything. And so I'm juggling and trying to figure out what it is, what needs to be, I need to do now, or what should be the priority, what's the divine timing to do it. And then you get so overwhelmed, you end up hardly doing anything, and you just want to sit and watch Netflix because it's just too much to think about. So I said, no, I'm going to go on a little journey. And I said, I'm going to do a future life progression that will tell me where I'll be in a few weeks, and that will give me an indication of what it is I should be focusing on. And so I said, okay, I'm going to do a future life progression, and I'm going to go forward 20 days, like 3 weeks, to see what's going on. And that'll give me an idea of what it is I should be doing now. So, and I wrote everything down here. I should say typed everything, because it was such an interesting thing that happened that I wanted to share it with you. So I wrote it all down. So anyway, I did my usual meditation. I was already laying there, so I was already relaxed. And so it was my intention, remember, was to just do a future life to see where I'm going to be in 3 weeks, what's going on in 3 weeks, to see what do I need to address now. That was my intention. So I go into my meditation, and I ended up on a pier, this pier, over the ocean. And it was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. The water was beautiful. There was no people, no buildings, no boats. It was just me on this pier and this beautiful, beautiful water, which I love the water, and I miss the beach very badly. So it was very relaxing for me to stand there, but I was confused and thought, well, maybe a miracle is going to happen. I'm going to win the lottery, and I'm going to get my beach house in 3 weeks. And, starting to get a little excited, hoping for that possibility. Or go on a vacation or something. So as I stood there pondering, wondering what was going on, I saw a very old-fashioned caddy. I don't know if you guys remember the caddies. They had shark fins. They were like these wide, like rear side panels at the back by the tail lights. And they were like, I called them shark fins. And so it was like the silver car with shark fins was speeding up the beach. And it came onto the pier with me, and I was staring at it. And there was a man inside, and he said, hop in. And now I don't know this guy. Typically, when I go on a journey, it's usually an animal that meets me, but it wasn't my intention to be journeying. It was my intention to see what was going to be happening in the next 3 weeks. And I don't know this guy. And sometimes things when you're journeying, things happen symbolically. And so I'm thinking, this vehicle has shark fins. Maybe this guy's a shark, or he's not good for me to be with. And he said, no, he promised he wasn't here to harm me and to get in. So I said, what the hell? I got in, and he hit the gas, and we went right splash. We went right into the ocean. Wow. And his car, even though it still looked like a car, it was a boat now, but it's still in my head. It was like a shark finned boat.
James Bond.
We're sitting there in the middle of the ocean, and he said, look around and tell me, what do you see? And I said, I see endless water. We're in the middle of nowhere. And he said, is that how you feel, like you're nowhere in life? And I said, well, I'm frustrated because there are so many things I want to do, but I can't seem to move forward with a lot of them. So no, I'm not where I want to be. I feel like I'm just stuck here, and I can't move forward with the things I want to do. And he said, well, what's one of the things that you want? And I said, I want to be totally out of debt so I can get on with my missions and the rest of my life and buy things that I want to buy. There's a lot of things that I want to do. And so he nodded, and he turned the car upside down. So like we're upside down over the water. Our heads aren't in the water, but our heads are over, like right over the water. But for some reason, we're not falling into the water. We're still sitting in the car, but our heads we're just dangling over the water, which of course is scaring me half to death. And he said, what do you think's going to happen now? And I said, well, I think I'm going to fall out of into the ocean and drown. And he said, is that happening? Is that what's happening? And I said, no. And he said, so it just looks and feels like you're going to drown, but you're actually just fine, right? And I was like, yeah. And I was starting to feel stupid now because I'm like, I'm seeing what's happening here, that I'm allowing myself to feel so overwhelmed and wondering if I'm ever going to finish everything. I'm just so focused on that and wondering, expecting disaster, and nothing is, it's not going to happen. I'm just fine. And so that's why he's saying, you know, you think that's going to happen, but that's not what's happening, right? It just looks and feels like it's going to happen, but it's not in reality what's happening. So now I'm starting to feel a little foolish, and I'm starting to see where all of this is going, because I see that I'm not in any danger and was wasting time worrying about it. So then he turned the car right side up again, and he said, what do you see? And I said, this time I saw a land, like an island or a land far off in the distance, and I pointed it out to him. And he said, if you had to swim, would you be able to swim over there? I said, no. And he said, well, then how do you propose to get over to dry land? And I said, I don't know. And he said, so it seems impossible? I said, yeah, it seems impossible for me to get over there right now. And he said, how can you sit here and say you don't know how you're going to get over there when you're sitting in a car boat with me, and I can get you over there in no time at all? He said, you have the means to get wherever you want, but you're so focused on the goal, it seems impossible for you to get there, instead of looking at the resources around you to help you get there. This was a really wise guy that showed up next to me, and he was really kind of telling me off but in a nice way, but telling me to snap out of it and get my ass in gear. Yeah. And so he takes me back to the pier, and he said, look around again. So I look around again, and this time I saw people, I saw buildings, I saw boats, and I pointed them out to him. He said, you know what? They were here the whole time, but you were so focused on the water and drowning and feeling like your goals were so impossible, when in fact you have all these resources and peoples that can help you get to where you want to go if you put your focus on that instead of staring at the water. And then he drove me to this place where there were all these women. They were sitting around in a circle, and there was a fire in the middle. He called it the goddess realm. And he said, go sit by the fire with them. So I went and sat with them, and we all held hands. And he said that they were fueling me with the energy of what I need to succeed. And then after a while, he returned me to the pier, wished me well, and I came back into myself. And I was like, wow, that was really deep. It was my intention to go and see what's happening 3 weeks ago. And instead I had someone show up who told me, you're basically not going to go anywhere if you don't get up off your ass and stop worrying, putting your focus on what you're worried about instead of actually getting the stuff done and using the resources around you. It was a really deep and profound lesson for me. And I've had a pep in my step all day. I've gotten so much accomplished. I've gotten more accomplished today than I have in in a long time. And all because I took a minute. I shouldn't say a minute, because it seems like you're gone for a minute, but you're really gone for like an hour or so. At least I was. But because I took that time to do that, I got some great lessons. I got the fuel to move forward, and I got a lot. I can't believe the stuff the work that I got done today that I've been trying to plow through for so long, and now I'm actually seeing progress. So when you go on journeys, it was supposed to be a progression, but it ended up being a journey, because they were like, well, if you don't take this, pull your head out of your butt, you're not going to be anywhere. We'll be sitting there still in the ocean in 3 weeks instead of actually getting anything done. And so that was a really important lesson. So you can get really important lessons from doing shamanic journeying. You can learn all kinds of things. Starr, do you have a journey that impacted your life in some kind of a way?
Well, I haven't, like you have, unfortunately, I think that happens to a lot of us who do a lot of service for people. We have a tendency to not get ourselves taken care of. So I haven't done one in a long time, but I do remember one that I had done, I don't know, maybe about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was as if, it's actually maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 6 years. It was about the time that I started doing Witches Fest. And I don't know how to explain it. I remember being in Europe, because I've been to certain parts of Europe. So I recognized certain things. And I remember being in Europe, and there was like an older gentleman with a gray beard that kept pointing to different things in the distance, you know, to tell me of things that I needed to do. And the way that he did it is similar to, in a way, I guess, instead of asking you, he was very silent the majority of the time, just pointing on into different directions as to where I should look. And I would look ahead, and honestly, a lot of it was, if I remember correctly, as if they was telling me that he was showing me rather that a lot of the things that I wanted to accomplish was within my grasp. It was within my means.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was right after that that we started doing a lot more of Witches Fest, and ideas came more of what to do with it and everything. But part of it was when I remember each thing I got pointed to and I went to it, it felt as if I was told that my journey is not going to be finished in this lifetime. It made me a little bit kind of pissed because it was like, I'm tired. Because one of the things that I remember doing before, I don't know if I've ever told you this, someone did an astrology reading on me, very amazing woman. This is her specialty. And she said, what I'm doing right now is what I began in my past life. She said, I'm just continuing this journey. So I'm thinking, oh, great, I'll be ended with this journey of all these things I'm doing, and I could start something new in the next time. And to be told that, no, this is not it. I still have more to do, even in coming forward. And I'm like, darn it, can't I begin anything new? You know, do I have to continue with this? It just feels like a really long journey that I'm on. So in some ways, I think I was thinking of it as too tedious and too much and too overwhelming. And I think, again, maybe that's part of what happens to us because we're doing so much with everyone. We're kind of like nurturing everyone else and forgetting to nurture ourselves.
Right.
And so I kind of came back going, okay, I just have to keep on doing what I'm doing. And that things will fall into place, because I've had people question me, asking me, don't you, when you move forward with something, aren't you afraid it's going to fall apart or whatever it is that the next step you took? And I said, well, I don't really think about it. I just try it. And if that doesn't work, I keep moving on to something else. You know, I don't think about it. And I don't know if you feel that too when it happens to you. You already thought about it. You have it in your head methodically, and you do it, and you kind of say, okay, that didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, so I'll move on to this other idea. Like you fall into place with something so quickly that almost like if you had plan A, B, C, D, E, F all the way down in your head without realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as each thing occurs, you've never really been faced with that particular thing, but suddenly you know how to take care of it. So it feels like a lot of things have fallen into place in a way where somehow I knew what's next to handle. So I don't know, but to me that is profound in its own sense, because I don't always know everything, but it just feels like somehow it will all work out and it'll be all right as long as I keep going on the path I'm doing. So I don't know. These shamanic journeys do take you to a lot of things, and I think it answers a lot of questions for you. It also takes you on paths that it questions you with answers that you already know. You know the answers, you just don't know how to answer it yourself, unless someone questions you about it. Kind of like when he's asking you about your resources, but you know the resources are there. And I know in your logical mindset, you would have figured it out. Oh, well, we're in a car boat, so why not, you know? But for some reason, he had to ask you that. You know what I mean? So I think it's something that they know that we know already how to handle. And we're just not, because we're so overwhelmed, we're not thinking it through properly.
Right.
So I think a lot, right, exactly. And I think it's all part of our different journeys that we have to take. And I think that most people don't even realize that they would learn that they can handle a lot of situations that they're in a lot better if they would learn to do some of these journeys themselves. What do you think?
Absolutely. And we would love if you, wonderful people in our chat room, if you journey, we would love to hear if you have any journeying experiences, or what your thoughts are on this. I believe that everyone should do a shamanic journey. If it's your first time doing one, you might want to have someone sit with you, because you could go into a situation where you might need someone to help to pull you out. I remember the
You're
first
not
one I
accustomed.
went
That's because
on.
you're not accustomed to it. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, because you never know where you're going to end up. Where you're going. You go on all kinds of different places, but just in case, if you freak out or something, at least then you'll have someone there with you to help to anchor you. But I remember my first shamanic journey circle, and there was a woman, she was drumming, and you can get shamanic journeying drumming. You can get it on YouTube, listen to it for free, and it'll start off very rapidly, the drumming. And that at that time, if you typically you can envision climbing a tree as the drums are going rapidly. And then as you get to the top of the tree, you kind of push yourself upward into the next realm. That's one way. Now I just go into it because I've been doing it so long now. I don't need a tree anymore. But if you're going to do it that way, as you push yourself through, the drums will start slow, a nice slow beat, because the drums are there to guide you. And so you'll go on your journey, and then when it's time for you to come back, the drums will pick up again. It's usually like 20 minutes or so. And so you can, and I find that helps too. If you're feeling distracted, listening to those drums can help you. You can get that on YouTube if you put Shamanic Journey drumming into the little search engine box there. It'll come up, and then you can go on journeys. But I've gotten a lot of wisdom
from it. Yeah.
Journey. In fact, I used to when I was more diligent, but I also, to be fair, I had more time on my hands then, much more than I have now. I used to go regularly. When I first actually really got into this business, I used to go regularly, and I had a notebook, and I would write everything down that I learned, and it really helps. And I'm thinking, another thing with this is as a reminder to myself, I can find time to a few times a week to go and get some guidance. A lot of times, and I'm sure Goddess Starr will agree with me, we're out here slugging it out for ourselves, for our clients, for our friends. We're slugging it out all the time for people. And then it's almost like we have to do everything ourselves. It's like the whole world is on our shoulders. And then we do forget, which is what I think was the purpose of this man coming to me, saying, excuse me, you've got all these divine beings, you've got all this help, you've got all these guides, and you're sitting there like, how am I going to do everything by myself? And it's like, you're not by yourself. Snap out of it, And so, but you can start to feel that way when you are working not just with your own things, but you're trying to help a lot of other people.
Right.
And you're trying to do all these things that you can get into, I have to do everything myself, or the whole world is going to fall apart. You need a reminder to say, excuse me, you're not by yourself. You're not doing this alone. There's plenty of people here to help you. Just, get out of yourself, get over yourself, and go ahead and ask for some help, because asking for help is also not something that's easy for me. I've learned to do it. I've practiced the art of receiving this year, and I've gotten a lot of things out of it, which I'm grateful for. But it's usually before I will ask for help, I will try everything on my own. And that's something also can waste time too. Do you do that too also, Goddess Starr?
I think it's a part of our service trait, because we're always doing it for everyone else. We never think to reach out to one of our own, to get that help that we need. I've even among us, even as a clergy, we formed a group among us of the elders, or the senior priestesses and reverends. And we said, if we ever need each other's guidance, we can reach out to one another. And majority of times, they would reach out, and we all discussing things, but I have never reached out, which is a shame.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're about the only person I've reached out to and said, what do you think of this, or whatever it is, And And I don't know why. I I don't know why. It's something to do, I think, with we're the ones always providing. So
Right.
if you it's kind of like being the mom, you know what I mean? If you're
Right.
always being the mom and these are your kids, you're not going to think to go to the kids and say, "Can you help me with so and so and so?"
Right.
It's that it's that kind of maybe mindset that we all take. And we forget that even with these shamanic journeys, that's a way for us to reach out and get that other help that we need from our spirit animal, or whatever journeys we decided to take with it, even your ancestral journey with it. All of those things are all part of that journey, shamanic journeying. And just so you guys know, when we or anyone else outside of Native Americans say shamanic journeying or anything like that, but let me let you guys know, it's not only exclusive to a certain group of people. Shamanic journeying has been something that's been around before time, basically. It's been something that man developed as they came forward, and whatever names they want to call it or whatever. um, it's always been a tool that everyone that is, I guess, beings like ourselves that are always in, whether it's in service or to help power ourselves up or whatever it is, we've always done those things. So because I've had people literally say to me, but isn't that like taking from the Native American? And I'm looking at them like, literally, I've had people say that. And I don't know about you, if you've had people say that to you about it. Um, and I'm always like puzzled as to where their mindset are with it, as if only an indigenous group is allowed to do such things. So anyone can do this, whether you're going to someone to help you, like Goddess Rhonda and myself, or if you're learn how to do it eventually by yourself. This is something I think that will help you in general across the board. Whatever your spirituality or whatever your mindset, it will help, because there are many ways that it can help you. Um, I've had it help people with learning how to control their own emotional body, like emotional body training, affirmations that you want to, that you consciously choosing to help you manifest a better way for you to respond, or a better way for you to um, handle things in life, because a lot of people don't know how to handle certain things. And this is one of the ways that they can do that. And they can go there and they can find ways to help guide them with different affirmations of where they want to, how to handle a particular situation. So there are, I mean, so many different types of ways to help yourself with these kind of journeys, and then you could turn around and help someone with it, how to guide them out of certain things with it. From, I don't know if Goddess Rhonda has used it. I'm sure she has. Even when you're clearing spirits or hauntings from different homes, you can use it for those who do angelic journeys. You can do Earth Mother journeys. Get to learn about the Earth, what's there to be offered for you, back and forth. Shape shifting. Many groups around the world have used masks. See those masks that people have and wear for different events that they do? They become, that's a bit of shape shifting when you become part of that mask of what it is that you're trying to portray in that whole aspect that you're doing. It's all different things that you can do and learn for yourself, and how to do and how to help yourself now in many different situations. So, including healing. So there's many different things that you can do that will help you with this, right, Goddess?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a million different things that you could do. And it's something, I think it's important. Not only that, it's something that you're doing for yourself.
Yes.
It's time you're putting aside for yourself to go inward, be it just because you want a little vacation and go to a different land, or if you need help or you need guidance or whatever it is. A lot of us who are of service, by the time we finished helping other people for the day, we're exhausted. And then there's like nothing left for us. And so it is important, just because we're of service, that does not mean that we can't do things to help ourselves. And so it really does help just going into that meditative state and going somewhere else and learning something and just kind of relaxing, taking a load off is also really, really helpful. So I really urge all of you, those of you who have not gone onto any journey, I suggest that you give it a try.
Yeah,
I
it'll
think
help.
you're really going to like it. And I'm just wanting to see what we've
All
got
right.
happening
Anyone
here.
saying, yeah, let's see if anyone's had any journeys themselves.
Chat room. I did see one thing, and so it prompted me to get up. Let's see, where was it? I know I'm skipping and I'll go backwards. I saw, okay, so Goddess Ember is having some difficulty with post-traumatic brain injury. And so I see people were suggesting acupuncture. And I wanted to suggest this book to you. I'm hoping that you can see it. I've used this book a lot.
Raise it up a bit. Oh, yeah, there you go. Much better. The lighting is better there.
It's in my screen, it's coming out backwards. So hopefully it's right side on your screen.
No, it's good. It's good. It looks exactly good. It says Body Reflexology, over 650,000 copies sold, healing at your fingertips. There you go. By Mildred Carter and Tammy somebody.
And it's something you can do on your own. It's like acupuncture, but you're pressing on the meridians yourself. There's just no needles. And the good news about it is, A, you can do it yourself and it's free. So you can do it every day, 3 times a week. And they have all the different, even if you just do your feet, I've had this book forever, so it's like falling apart here. But even if you just do like your feet, it's got all the places and what it represents. It's also got charts on the body, where to press on. And it's stuff that you can do for yourself. I personally find it, even though we just sat here and talked about how important it is to go out and get help when you need help for things, I personally still like to take my treatment into my own hands as well. And I have found that this book, Body Reflexology, has really helped with pressing on the different points. And another one that's helped me a lot is Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life by Doreen Virtue. That gives you spiritual reason for an illness and then gives you the affirmation to correct it. And so that can help you as well. I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, Goddess. So I'm going to let you go ahead and tell us what's happening in chat room.
Okay. Let me get to the chat room there. Hold on. Did you? Okay.
It might make it easier for you to pop it out.
Okay. Let me
pop it out. You think where to pop it out?
You know what I did? I made it bigger. So I'm hoping that would help. Let's see. Okay. Where did you you didn't say any of it, right? So I could start at the top.
Just go ahead and start at the top.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you mentioned about get your own wine and all of that, so I'll go past that. And okay. Let's see. Everyone is saying, I got us Amber. Everyone is saying hi to everyone here. Okay, Goddess, I'm going to start at Goddess Amber that said, love the insight. Sounds like getting ready for this adventure needs a shamanic journey. And then Monica says, I have trouble doing journeys. And then Peggy said, oh, Mary meet everyone. Mary meet Monica. And then Amber said, tuning inward has been more difficult post-traumatic brain injury. I think you said that part already. Any suggestions to help in meditation when dealing with this? Already doing yoga and chakra work. And Goddess Rhonda mentioned to you about the Reflexology book. The acupressure, I think that's what you were talking about as well, right? With reflexology, yes, the acupressure, really that works really well. If you can, okay, let's see. Monica says, music for journeying. Or is it Jakey that says that? Oh, Jakey says music can be great tool for journeying too. This is true. And Ember said, any artist in particular? I have Spotify. And Ember and Judy said, Ember, I have heard acupuncture has benefits. And Jakey said, whatever genre you like, that gets you there. In terms of the music, it's been a while. Then Ember says, it's been a while since I received acupuncture. We'll look into that. If you're in New York City, there is a wonderful place that gives you great acupuncture at a great price. And actually, they do acupressure massage there as well. It was the last time I remember, it was $25 for 25 minutes or for half an hour or something like that. And they do from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, an acupressure. The acupuncture is $45 for 45 minutes. And it's on 14th Street, closer to Avenue A. So it's between Avenue A and First Avenue if you're in Manhattan. I don't know if anybody else have other places that you guys can recommend in your areas. That'd be great. And then Monica says, Ember says, how are you, Monica? How have you been? And Monica says, hugs, Goddess Ember. I've been having a hard month. I hope it gets better for you, Goddess Monica. Pretty miserable, truthfully. I am doing better, and I'm glad to be here today. We're happy to have you here again today too, Ember and Monica. Jakey says, yes, this was probably been one of the worst Mercury retrograde ever. Thankfully, the post-shadow ends on Thursday. And then Monica says, Goddess Starr and Goddess Rhonda, I think it has to do with fixed signs as well. A lot of fixed energies. This is true. Uh-oh, it went up. It did something. Yeah, it went up a little bit. Let me try to bring it back down a bit. And then Peggy says, I do that too. I always try to do things on my own. I hate asking for help. It's a cross we seem to all have to bear in some point or another. And then Veronica says, funny, I keep getting messages to receive instead of giving all the time. My guides say it's time to let others feel the joy of giving and helping. That is such a true thing, right, Goddess?
Yes, very much so.
And then Ember says, aw, thanks, hugs back. This has been a rough one for me too. So many tasks to do with me and Jasper. Ready for a trip to, is that HI?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. To get to family health is on its side. Struggle with chakra work when I think it said wedding thing. And then Ember says, aren't connecting properly or property. I'm not sure. And then Veronica says, shamanism was in Siberia and it's global. Yes, it is. Because I get a lot of, it's interesting how a lot of people consider shamanic journeying only indigenous to certain peoples, which I'm so confused about that when they ask me that.
That's really interesting because I know, I live in the Southwest where we have a lot of Native American, and I've never had anyone say to me, oh, that's only, for Native Americans. In fact, when I was on my way to the hospital to tend to that family where the poor lady got beaten to death by her boyfriend, the mother had apparently told the people in ICU that a shaman was coming to help them. I don't know what these people were expecting, but when I walked in there, I mean, there was a crowd gathered of hospitals to see the shaman, and I had to, close the curtains around because they were all like peering into the room, like, what do you? So I had never heard that I've never had anyone say to me that only the indigenous people are allowed to be. In fact, my Native American clients, they don't want to be called shamans. They want to be called medicine people. It is very clear. Medicine people are the healers. Witches are evil. The other people are in their spirituality. Witches are evil, and all the other magical people. They are medicine people. They don't use the word shaman. So I'm not even sure who decided to say that Native Americans are shamans, because they do not refer to themselves that way.
Right.
They refer to themselves as medicine people. That's it. There's no and no one says, oh, I've got a shaman coming. It's like, I have a medicine man coming, or a medicine woman, or a medicine person coming. Right. They don't use shaman. So I don't know whose bright idea. People will attach their own label to something and then insist that it's the only label that there is. So I'm not sure whose idea that was, but for those who are saying that, I am here to tell you that Native American people, at least here in the Southwest, of which I know many, say medicine person, medicine woman, medicine man, medicine person. They do not.
And they don't want to be associated in any way with witches because they consider us evil.
Because they're considered evil in their society, because apparently in their culture, if they're a witch, they only do bad things. So, you know, and that's their, so don't no one take offense at that. It's just that in their culture, if someone calls themselves a witch, they're doing bad things or evil things to people. It has nothing to do with witches and globally. That's just their thing. So please don't assume that they just want to be called shamans, because at least here in the Southwest, they don't. They refer to themselves as medicine people, and they do not want to be associated with any other kind of magical practitioner, just so that you guys know that.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Then Ember says, "Hey, Goddess Veronica, I think the messenger job starts like that." And then Monica says, "Maybe calling it a shamanic journey confuses people. Same with spirit animals." And you're probably right. I don't know why it does, but to some people it does. And then Jakey says, "I've met a couple of angels while journeying, so very different for everybody. I met them because I had asked to." And that's true, because when you do your different journeys, you kind of put forward what it is that you want to do, what type of journey you want to do. And then you go, it usually guides you based on what it is your needs or wants are. So stating what it is that you're trying to do at the beginning helps. Because I've done many different types, and I do have to name them before I do it. Let's see. Then Sassy Moxie 2 says, "Reaching out is also a sign of vulnerability. It takes a deep level of trust to allow yourself to be really seen as you are, especially if you are in leadership." This is true.
This is
right,
very
Goddess?
true.
Very, very true. It's very hard to trust certain people because you're not sure if they would take it as whatever they want to take it as. And depending on the person, they take it in an entirely wrong way and use it against you in some form or another. These days, it's unfortunate about that. Let's see. It moved up a little bit. Let me move it down. So that's very insightful, Sassy Moxie, too. And then Emma says, "Live for yourself, die in vain. Live for others, live again." Bob Marley. She said that's quoted by Bob Marley. And then Veronica says, "Louise Hay has some books on healing worth a look." Okay.
Oh, yes. You know what? I'm sorry. It was Louise Hay who wrote Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life. That's a really great book. It's really
awesome. Yeah.
Get it as a free PDF. If you put it in Google, Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life PDF, you can download a free PDF of it. So you don't even have to purchase it.
Awesome. Okay. And then Judy says, "Jinshin Jutsu is another type of feeling." Oh, I think you meant healing. I'm not sure. It's another type of feeling. I have had it done to me. Really amazing. And you can use exercises to help yourself. And then Peggy says, "Wish I was back in New York." I am sure there are places that you can find near you that just, take a look around. And if any of you have areas in the group, place up things in your areas where you've seen great deals. And I think the reason that their prices are really reasonable like that, because everywhere else, people have a tendency to be very, very expensive. We were lucky in the sense that place on where I mentioned on Avenue, on 14th Street between A and First, is because a lot of them are doctors from China who, when they get here, because their English is not perfect, they make them start over from scratch with their doctorate. And a lot of them are like, "I've been practicing for so many years in China. I am not going back to school to learn something that I already know only because of my English." So a lot of them are really there, and they're actual doctor certificates, but they can't practice here. So they practice in that place with everything else. So they kind of treat you like a patient. And when you come in, they have notes and they're writing down things and they trying to figure out how to help you. And then they add on the acupuncture and the acupressure massages and everything. And when you leave, it's so euphoric. It's beautiful. Feels wonderful.
You feel good. And you can also look for acupuncture schools, because you can go, we have a school here where I think it's like $19, and you go and it's the interns. They're already doing their internship. They've completed the program, and it's really cheap. It's really, really cheap. And even the massage schools will do massages inexpensively. So you can look at and see if you've got an acupuncture school.
Yeah, that they would help. Yeah.
You can find something in your area that can help you. That can help you get through this. I love acupuncture. It's
Me too. All I know is it helps me.
it
And
helps me
yeah,
tremendously.
yeah. Especially I have lupus, so when I go to them, I love the price, and when I go to them, it just helps me so much. When I leave, it's almost like a high kind of. It's so good. It's so helpful. And I can't wait to go back each time.
It is. It's very addictive.
It is. And then Peggy says, thank you, Goddess Rhonda. And Ember says, thank you, Goddess Rhonda and Goddess Starr. You guys are all welcome. And Goddess Yada says, thanks for all you both do. Oh, you guys are so welcome. And honestly speaking, thank all of you for always being here with us. We tell you guys that because it's the truth. It's how we really feel. Because again, this show is not without you guys. Without you guys, we don't have a show.
Exactly.
So we are always very, very grateful for all of you that participate, for all of you. Even if you do not participate, we are very grateful for all of you being there. And if you do have something to say, the ladies and gents in our chat room, they are wonderful people, and they're very inviting, and they're very helpful. So go ahead. If you want to step in and say something, you're welcome to do so.
Absolutely. And we also just really quick want to remind you, if there are topics that you guys want to talk about, please, by all means, let us know. You can let us know right now in our chat room. You can visit our Witch Times Television Facebook group and join that and post questions, things that you want us to talk about in the future, because this show is about you. You can private message us, because we do want to cover topics that are of interest to you. So please, by all means, let us know what it is you want to talk about, or what you need clarification on, or whatever it is. We wanted to throw that in there. So go ahead, Goddess Starr. Go ahead and finish up with our chat room.
Okay. Then Peggy says, I got here late. How does one start a shamanic journey? A lot of times, if you do meditation of any kind at all, you kind of, if you can take yourself down like that, or like how Goddess Rhonda said earlier, she was already in bed and at rest, so it was very easy to just kind of say to herself, what type of journey I want to take. So she did. She wanted to see 3 weeks into the future, so that's what she did, and she took herself down on that journey. And it's kind of like, hey, how do you put it? It's like going on vacation. If you remember that, I related it to this, and I don't know about you guys, but to me, I've always related it to this. You know that movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I know there's a newer version of it.
The newer version sucks.
Huh?
The newer version sucks.
It's not as good. But if you can think of it like that, and you put yourself in that whole mindset of whatever you want to be and where you want to go, and you literally will go there, and it's almost like that mini vacation, and it may seem like a minute that you're gone, but sometimes you wake up and you're over an hour, and things like that. But you get answers, you get or you just feel very rested. Wherever you went, you feel very rested, and you come back and almost like rejuvenated. You come back and you're getting a lot more done, right?
Yes.
It's a very amazing feeling. But it's like taking that little vacation that you couldn't go to and pick a place. Just like they were telling them in Total Recall, pick a place, pick a time. Maybe you can change and become someone else, whatever it is. That's why they have the shape shifting and all the different types of journeys that people can do. So, think about things like that. And you can think of it as a meditation with a vacation. Does that make sense?
I love that. A meditation with a vacation.
Yeah.
Because I have felt so good.
I know.
In a long time. I actually had a pet. I was just getting my stuff done and sitting at my desk and rolling. And I was like, wow, I've been trying to do this entire retrograde, which this retrograde, as everyone has said, normally the retrogrades aren't too bad. I mean, yes, they're annoying, but I typically accomplish a lot. And this retrograde, I've accomplished so much less than I normally do. I can't wait for the post shadow to be over. But maybe I should have taken that journey a couple of weeks ago. Maybe I would be further along. Either way, it is.
At least you're doing it now. It doesn't matter. That's in the past. You did it now, and you make yourself do it more often, and it will help you more. I mean, because look at how much you got done today, just doing it today.
Yes.
You know, so to me, you did it in the time that was necessary for you. You know, and you can't kind of say, I wish I could have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're doing it for you. And also, one of the things I've always told people in the sense, when you're doing all of these journeys, and of course you're picking a meaning of where you want to go, what's the topic, where, you know, like how you picked your 3 weeks ahead so you can kind of figure things out. Always try to make sure you have a means of tethering yourself back to where you are, because especially if you're doing it alone, make sure you know how to bring yourself back with all of that. If you have to use a meditation with it, go ahead and do that. A means for you to come back, because some people, I've had people say they got lost trying to do it on their own.
And that's why,
or you can reach out to people like myself and Goddess Rhonda, and we can help you with that.
yes, and that's why I do suggest, if you're not used to I've been doing this for so many years now that I can just go and I can come back. I have no problem. But if you're not used to it, it can be overwhelming, because you can be sucked into a whole different land that's startling and overwhelming, and you freeze and you don't know what to do. So you're better off to have guidance. I'm sure you can find a Shamanic Journey tape or something like that that can help you. But I strongly suggest that if you're just starting this, that you have someone with you, even if they're just on the phone with you, someone who can tether you and bring you back.
Yeah.
And
one other helpful thing that helps, because when I just started teaching or telling people about the journey to the realm of the underworld, it depends on where you're journeying. Have something that will tether you, a stone of some kind, whatchamacallit, a lodestone, what's the other one that's really good to help?
Really good.
Tourmaline, there we go, a black tourmaline. There's Lapis Lazuli. I think
Lapis Lazuli.
Yes, that's another good one it helps guide with visions and all of that, you know. Those are great stones to hold. There are 3 stones: the black tourmaline, the amethyst is very good for protection, and the black tourmaline. Have those. Maybe that's something that you can say those are your Shamanic Journey stones, and you have those, and it grounds you. One grounds you, in other words, tethering you to this realm and this time, so it helps coming back. One helps you with the visions, and one protects you at the same time. Those are stones that, even with the journey to the realm of the underworld, I recommend to people. That one in particular, those 3 in particular, have them as something that you're holding on to. So when you're laying there, you know, okay, you feel better knowing that you can bring yourself back. These are things that are doing its job to help you with certain things. All right. Let's see. Monica says, I've read that online people be offended by shamanism and cultural appropriation. Yeah, I know. But I don't use exclusive Native American techniques. See, that's the thing. It's not exclusive to anyone in particular thing, whatever techniques you use. I've never gone on a Native American shamanic journey of theirs. I've just gone on journeys because witches in general, or beings, or whatever you want to call yourself. Right. We've said this many times. When you are people who are witches or light workers, whatever you want to name yourself, you are constantly in a shamanic journey of some sort.
Yes.
Whether you're constantly between the realms, that's why they call them not light walkers, light or day walkers. I forgot what they call them in many different traditions, because you kind of walk between the worlds. You're realm journeying all the time, whether it's to help someone else or yourself or whatever. So, you know, don't allow. Yeah, and you're right, Monica. People online on Facebook are with all of that cultural appropriation and all of that. If you find something that works for you, again, you know, you've heard Goddess Rhonda and I say, because we've been so many here, many lifetimes and many races and many genders and all of it, to us, it's not appropriating anything. It's what's been there at our grasp the whole time, and we're just holding on to it. That's all. That's right. Because for us to be able to do these journeys without being to a Native American type of shamanic journey, then how did we appropriate it? We are doing this without anyone teaching it to us that way. So I'm not sure exactly the mindset with that, but, you know, to each his own.
Yes, and witches,
I
I
don't
want
have
to
that
point out,
problem. Yeah.
witches have been journeying forever,
Yeah.
okay? You know, if we're not, you know, a lot of the flying was about witches journeying. Go, you can even get like flying ointment, which is really to help you to go into other realms and things like that. So witches have been journeying forever. I just want to make it clear that this is not something that we just saw, oh, someone else is doing this, so let's do it too. We've been journeying since we've been here. So just want to toss it out there. And
Yeah.
especially if you are, if this is what you do as your living, like Goddess Starr and I, you always have your foot in another realm anyway, because we're
Yep.
constantly doing psychic readings and healings and cleansings and things like that, and dealing with other beings and kicking them out. So we're used to living in several different worlds at once. But if you're not, it is important that you get guidance
Yeah.
with that and have someone with you. We don't want you, because it can be very startling where you end up, or what comes to get you to comes to pick you up, to take you on the journey, and things like that. So you don't want to get startled and freeze or have anything else happen to you. If you haven't done it before, I suggest, even if you just have a friend sit there with you and see if you're in trouble, you know, to touch you and pull you out or something like that, I strongly
Suggest that. Yeah.
do that. Are we still doing the chat room? Because
Yeah, I
where
know.
are
Let me quickly. I know. Are we running out of time? Right. Let me quickly go down the rest. Jakey says if someone, she said true Rhonda medicine person down here in the Southwest. Jen, she says if someone claims to be shaman, a Native American, it's a con artist selling snake oil, basically. And
we?
then Cool Flavor says, "Yeah, I made it. Oh, welcome, Cool Flavor.
Welcome, cool
Glad you
flavor.
made it." And then Monica says, "True, Jakey, snake oil salesmen have all the keywords." And then Peggy says, "It's the same in the South. I claim to be pagan or witch, I'd be considered evil." I
Nice.
okay. And then Goddess Yada said yes. And Raven33 Abel says, "Heal Your Life" is written by Louise Hay. Yes, yeah,
Excellent book.
thank you. And then Tail, yeah, right. Tina Bailey says, "Noticing mirroring of oneself can be healing. I'm seeing mirrors of myself and learning lessons from tins." Okay, that's wonderful. And then Sol Murkaba Akuma says, "Greetings, goddesses. Hi, Hi. Good to have you here tonight." And then
Oh,
Veronica says, "I'm pretty sure there's an acupuncture school in Lombard, Illinois, if anyone is near Chicago." Awesome. Mary Meet Soul, Peggy says, and they all said Mary Meet. Welcome, everyone. And then going down, let's see. Peggy there said, "I sent an ad to the group." Okay. I didn't see any ad.
we'll take
Okay,
a look at it.
we'll take a look and see. And then Kiki says, "In my experience, when I put my wishes out into the universe, especially for help in an area, it's sent to me when the time is right." Definitely right. And then Monica says, "LOL, goddess Rhonda." And then Monica again then says, "Newer version sucks on most things."
Absolutely.
It's just not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah. And then Solmer says, "When I command or relax, things happen for me." And then Peggy says, "Thank you, Goddess Star." Okay, you're welcome. I'm not sure for what. It's been so long, right? And then Amber says, "Don't be too hard on yourself when practicing journeys, meditation for chakra work, meditation or chakra work." And then Kiki says, "I put it out there that I desired a certain tool of enlightenment, and I was online searching, asking friends, LOL, all kinds of stuff. And a year later, I visited a friend for the weekend, and her other guest had it. It was magic."
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that is very cool. And then Solma said, "Kiki, cool." And then praising my way through says, "Black Tourmaline Amethyst." What's the third one, please? Lapis Lazuli, I believe is the name, right?
Yes, Lapis Lazuli.
Yeah, they all those three, because when I'm putting together the Journey to the Realm of the Underworld kits, and in the big ones, those are the three that you should hold on to, especially when you're doing Journey to the Realm of the Underworld is a lot more deeper. So especially when you're there, so that especially because you're now starting off with it, those are great stones to work with. Walker Between the Worlds, Jakey says. And then praising my way through says, oh, what does she? Sorry, it's going back up again. I hate that. It goes up. I don't know how you could handle it.
I know, it's very frustrating. It scrolls by itself.
It goes up so far. Walking between the worlds. And then thank you. I think I'm almost down to the bottom because I don't see that arrow, blue arrow anymore. And Judy says, I agree, Starr. I mean, the Druids, witches, etc., came far before most cultures. And Cool Flavor says, yes, I am so glad you're covering the dangers of being in other realms. So important to be aware of. It's true. Because, and then she says, nothing wrong with a nice circle of protection for these moments. Absolutely. It's always good, especially when you're not accustomed to it. And it's something, anything new you're starting. Find out the protections for yourself. Don't just walk right into it and then later on go, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know what I mean? Because by then the damage might be something that is either takes a long time to repair or get yourself back entirely. So just be careful. I've seen people do things that are, some of them ended up in mental hospitals because of it, doing things, not necessarily shamanic journeys, but other things similar to it. Okay, so just, I mean, a certain type of shamanic journey. So just be aware and be careful at all times. Alrighty, let's move on, Goddess.
Let's move on to past life. Now, past life regressions, of course, are different than, well, I'd still say they're different than a shamanic journey, because you're actually going on a specific journey to either just to go exploring in your old lives, your old past lives, or you're going to heal a situation from a past life or try to understand, because a lot of us will bring in issues from other lifetimes that if they were so traumatic that they actually imprinted on our soul, and we bring it with us. And so we're still dealing with those things when we shouldn't have to spend a lot of time on those things anymore, because now we're here in a new lifetime to address other lessons and other things. And so it's also important, I feel, this is my opinion, of course, that everyone should have a past life or past lives regressions done. Now, I do a lot, and Goddess Starr does past life regression. We're both hypnotherapists, so we do past life regressions, and very few people, some do, some will come and say, I want to know who I was in another lifetime. I want to know who I was or what I was, and some people just do it just for the fun of it, just to see, what's going on and things like that. But for the most part, people come to me with specific issues that they want to be addressed, and they want to say, is this because of a past life experience? Now, let me explain to you how this can actually help you. I had a client, one of my favorite stories is of a client who was clinically anorexic. She wanted to eat, but she couldn't. She was skinny as a rail. She could only eat a little bit, and she'd had digestive troubles her whole life. She had to have part of her intestines removed. It was just a constant battle for her eating. And she wanted to eat, but she couldn't, and she just could not figure out why she had such a hard time eating. And so we went on a past life regression, and it turned out that sometime, I don't know, mid-century Europe, she was a cook for some rich person. And if she made a mistake with the food, the man of the house would take a knife and cut her. And so she associated food with pain and fear. And so when she brought that into this lifetime, because she was basically tortured throughout her employ, because, back then you basically were an indentured servant. You didn't really have a real job. You got paid jack. They didn't dare make a fuss about it because it wasn't like there's a million other jobs you could go to. You didn't just type up your resume and send them out. You pretty much had to keep your job. And so after we finished with that, she understood why she had brought that in. And the first thing she did was she went to the Chinese buffet and she sat down and started eating. And she's been eating ever since. That was the end of her issue.
Good for her.
Because she knew. Awesome. And I've had, this has actually happened with several men that I have had that came in, and it turns out, and they have led very sad, lonely, solitary lives. They just feel like they have to be on their own, and they're always, struggling and trying to move ahead and help other people, but they don't have personal lives. And I've had several of them that turns out that they were Knight Templars. And, you know, the Knight Templars were sent out there by themselves. You know, they all went to the far reaches. They were on their own, doing their missions alone. They didn't ride in packs for the most part. They were all sent out to do their thing. And they still had that feeling that they had to slog through life all by themselves, you know, just helping other people and having nothing for themselves, that they were just dedicated to doing things for other people and couldn't have a happy love life or anything like that. And so when they went into their past life regression and saw that, they recognized, well, wait a minute, you know, that was then, this is now. I'm not a Knight Templar anymore. I can have a date and I can go out and I can have fun and I can have love and I can have all these things. But their soul was still tethered to that past. And so once they saw that, recognized it, and let it go, they could move forward. So you can actually find a lot of reasons why you do certain things when you go into past life regressions. If it's because why you're stubborn, why you can't have a decent relationship, whatever it is, a past life regression can really, really help you to see where you're coming from and why you launch yourself from the emotional platform that you do. A lot of it is because of what has happened to you in other lifetimes, and you just have not healed from it yet. But because you're not aware of that, you can't address the problem. Once you know the problem, you can address it and let it go. So I've had a lot of success with helping people doing past life regressions. And I personally enjoy my own past life regressions. I like to see what was going on with me. Sadly, most of them ended up with me being burned or drowned or something. It was a witch. I shouldn't be laughing, but you know, but still, at least I know my history. And it explains like a lot of things to me. So what do you think about the importance of past life regressions, Goddess Starr?
Oh, it's for all of the reasons you just mentioned, and also it's part of the whole idea of revoking any kind of past life contracts. So you were revoking with the Knights Templar. They had a contract of sorts, and so you revoked their contract from that past life so they could move on. You know, when we have all of these things, it's the reason why when we do hand fastings, we tell you do not say for forever and into the next lifetime. That's a contract you're taking into the next lifetime and on and on. You know, so all of these things, when you do the past life regression, whatever they were, it's great to also go in and have any kind of you could do a general ritual of when you go in with the past life regression to remove all past life contracts that you've had. And it I forgot the exact words because I have a whole ritual that I do of where they're repeatedly talking about all the different things: your past life health, your past life jobs, past life marriages, relationships, everything, to remove all of those contracts from whatever past lifetimes so that you can move on in this lifetime. And I remember one of them in particular, the woman had, when you were doing it with her, there was one of them where she literally had this gigantic snake wrapped around her stomach. And you can almost, when you touched her stomach, you can almost feel it moving. And that was one of the contract that she had with someone that she had to remove, and something that she had to deal with in that past with a snake for some reason, or the person putting the snake there to trap her and keep her there. And then we had to go in and remove that and release her from that trap and come out of it. And then she was able to move on with her life. There's a lot of things that both Goddess Rhonda and I, many different stories we can tell you of different situations we've walked in on, and having to deal with it, dealing with past life regressions. And it's important to think about doing it, because essentially what we're doing is healing those past lives, healing and removing those contracts and having you move on with your life in the present day. So that's all dealing with all of that past life regressions.
And it really does help to do that. You know, a lot of you might have taken the Bodhisattva vow, where you have said you're going to keep coming back into this lifetime until everyone is saved and can cross and transition with you. That's a long time for waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
You know, so you might want to renounce that one. You might want to, if you were a priest or a nun or whatever, and you took a vow of poverty.
Yeah.
You know, you still got the same soul that you had when you took that vow, and that soul will acknowledge and honor that vow until you say, "Excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and renounce that vow." You know, and I will do that all the time. And you can even just make a general statement that you renounce any and all vows that are no longer of service to you in this life.
Yep. You're going to have to do that.
Get rid of them because they will continue. Your soul, you have to remember, we may have different bodies, but you've had the same soul. And that soul remembers, oh, well, you know, you said that you were swearing to be poor forever. And in this lifetime, you're trying to get ahead and you can't. You feel guilty because there are a lot, and I experience this with a lot of people who are of service. Notice I said people who are of service because there are those that are witches that are not of service. But people who are of service actually feel guilty over the idea of wealth and having money because
charging for it as if they should give it away for free, and they cannot.
Everything should be free. Well, you know, that kind of thinking is going to keep you, because prosperity is not just financial. Prosperity, do you have a good love life? Do you have a good home life? Do you, you know, if you have a car, you have all these things. Prosperity equals a lot of things. It means different things to different people. To some people, prosperity is having a big family that's happy and fulfilled. To others, it's having lots of homes or being able to travel. You know, it all depends. But if you took a vow saying you're not going to have any of that, you're just going to slog through life poor and be, you know, serving the masses, then that's what you end up doing. And I cannot tell you how many people are horrified when I say, you know what, it's time for you to learn how to be a little bit more self-centered. They're like, what? Self-centered? I can't do that. You know, what about this person and that person? And it really makes me happy to make people feel better. You know, when they say thank you, it makes me feel good. And it's like, well, you know, gratitude ain't going to pay your rent and feed you. It feels good. Sure. It's wonderful to know that you have impacted someone's life in a positive way. But then when you're sitting there trying to figure out, how am I going to pay my rent so I don't get evicted? Or how am I going to have gas money? Or how am I going to do this? Or how am I going to do gratitude? The gas pump does not accept gratitude as payment. Neither does your landlord. You know, say, thanks, you know, I'm so grateful that you let me live here. They're like, thanks, give me a check. You know, they don't care about that. And so, but if that has been your mindset, because that is what you have allowed yourself to continue to be tethered to vows and situations that no longer belong to you. It's like the Knight Templars. They were still on an empty battlefield. They're literally still walking an empty battlefield. All the other soldiers and everybody else has gone home, and there they are still there, waiting for people who aren't coming back. And so it's very important, I feel, especially if you are struggling with trying to move forward with your life and you have tried, and not just with wealth or success, with love, your health, anything. If you've just kept trying and trying and trying and nothing is working, it could be because of a past life contract or a past life trauma or a past life issue that you have just not been able to get over. And it could even be, you know, I had a young lady. She's young. She's only like 20. I mean, to me, she's just a baby. And she's very, very independent, very rebellious. And at her young age, you would think that she would be like most young ladies out there looking for a guy. And nope, she's not interested. She just wants to achieve. And she wants to do this and she wants to do that. And, you know, her mom actually took her to me because she was just so strong-willed and had her ideas of what she wanted. And she wasn't being more like a 20-year-old. And so we went ahead and did a past life regression on her to take her back to see why she had this overwhelming need for rebellion. Like anything you said to her was a reason for her to get in your face. She just could not, you know, look at things in a rational way. She was very rebellious, very stubborn, had a hard time sustaining relationships because of it. And so when we did her past life regressions, we did 3 of them back to back. And each one of those regressions, and don't forget, this was common actually back in the olden days, her family forced her to marry someone that she didn't even know, that she didn't want to marry. And arranged marriages were very heavily done back in the olden days.
Yeah,
You
that's what
didn't
they
get to
did.
know who your husband or your wife was going to be. You were just told you're going to go marry this dude 2 towns over, and they'd load you up in a carriage and off you went. And then you were terrified. And in each of those marriages, she was unhappy. She was all by herself. And she couldn't do anything because she was under the thumb of the societal ideas at the time. So she was lonely, she was bored. Thankfully she was at least married off to wealthy men. But she was rattling around these big houses and she had no say in anything. You had to do what the man said you had to do. So after 3 of those back-to-back lifetimes, in this lifetime, she's like, screw that. I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and woe to the person who tries to stop me, because I'm just going to rip their throat out. I'm not having it. And I don't blame her after experiencing all 3 of those lives where she was just suffering because she was in a loveless man. One of the lives, her husband wanted to kill her because she came from a wealthy family and he would have inherited all this money. It was a nightmare. And so she was like, no, not this time, not this time, not this time. But at least she understood after we did those regressions why she felt like that. And it also helped her mom to see why she was like that. And, it helped her to calm down and feel better. And it's, you don't have to feel, you don't have to go through life like a quarterback, waiting to defend and tackle someone who's coming at you. Just relax, go with the flow, and let things happen. Those lifetimes are over now. No one is going to force you to do anything. You get to decide in this lifetime. You don't have to have a man decide for you. And that helped her to calm down and relax and, not take the world so seriously or offensively, or I should say defensively.
Yeah. I think part of it is that once you know, then you can learn how to deal with it. The problem is not knowing. And because you're walking around not knowing, you're attacking all these different things in a certain way, or you're saying, I can't seem to get ahead. My money is always something going wrong with it. My wealth cannot come up at all. I can't get a good job. I always have these bad relationships, and I really want a good relationship. I want to have a family, and these things are not falling into place, and you're wondering why. It's almost like after a while, a lot of them have come to me saying that they think that they're cursed.
Yes.
They will literally come saying, I have been cursed. I know I'm or hexed or whatever it is. And they're going on and on and on. And honestly, a lot of it you did yourself. And when you tell them that, they'll get upset. No, I did not. I'm like, not you right now. Your past. You have to deal with that, because I hate to say this to people all the time. Your past affects your present. Absolutely. It affects your future. All of these things, that people do not see and they do not believe in, but yet it's there. And when you help them with it and they move on from there, they're like, wow, I did not know. I did not see. And now that they understand, they deal with things with that knowledge of like, I understand it now. So I'm going to do this, this, and this. And they handle things better and they move on better with their lives. And a lot of them walk away seeing things change from their love life, their financial life, all of these different things. And even as these people that are in service, we ourselves have to do it.
Yes.
We ourselves have to do it. So if we have to do it, you all should be doing it in one form or another, because we have to see how can we take ourselves into the future? How can we help people better if we need to understand ourselves better.
Right.
And understanding our past helps us understand who we are in the present time. So we can then in turn help you in a proper manner. It all works hand in hand, and that's how life works. So, it's something that you should think about, and don't underestimate what it can do for you in this present time and your future.
Absolutely. So now we're going to go ahead and finish up in our chat room to read those comments. Before we do, though, I wanted to remind you all of our midnight sexy state margarita show this Friday. It's going to be midnight for you East Coasters. For us West Coasters and Southwest coasters, So it's midnight Eastern time, and then it will be 10 o'clock Mountain time and 9 o'clock Pacific. So just so that you know those times, and we're going to be talking about, you guys have to wear, even though we can't see you, you're on the honors, you have to put on your sexy lingerie. Now, for those of you like, I hate sexy lingerie, okay, you can put on your pajamas if you have to. But we want you we're trying to get you, we want to get our sexy groove back on and talk about how, how to do that, how to get your sex back on. And if you guys like it, we'll do this every month. We'll do a sexy sage and crone show. That's just, we're going to hang out and talk about all things sexy and erotic, and we're going to wear our lingerie, and we're going to drink margaritas. It reminds me, I have to buy my margarita stuff.
I know. I was just thinking I got to go buy my margarita mix and make everything,
My margarita mix.
Yes.
So that we're all
midnight.
set.
It's like, what did they say? Midnight margaritas.
Yes, we are going to have our midnight margarita, sexy sage, and crone show, and we're going to talk about all things, sexy and what we can do to get our sexy back. Because a lot of us, we're out there, we're slogging around, we're working hard, we're taking care of children, and then by the time we get home, we're too tired to look sexy or feel sexy, or maybe you've been alone for a while and now you're ready to get back out there and you want to get your sexy back on. So we're going to be talking about everything, all sex stuff on Friday. So hopefully you will come to that. I wanted to bring that up so that we would not forget.
And I know, Goddess Rhonda, wait, I know you just said if they don't feel like dressing sexy, they can wear their PJs. I'm sorry, I don't want that. I want you into sexy, because I'll tell you something. We always feel a certain way when we dress a certain way, don't we?
That's the truth.
And this is the show we want to do. You're at home. Nobody's seeing you.
That's
Dress
right.
sexy for you. However sexy you want to be, dress that sexy just for you. This is all about you.
Yes, it is.
Don't deny yourself. Don't whatever. You can always put on the PJs after or just fall asleep, but that's sexy on.
I agree. You know what? I'm going to take back what I said.
Yeah.
And you are required to the show.
There you go. There you go.
Put on your makeup, put on your perfume, put on your satin or lace or silk or whatever it is you're going to put on. And that Goddess Starr said no one can see you. They can only see me and Goddess Starr. We have no problem with letting them hang out. So we want you to.
I'm putting on my love potion number 9. Woo!
There you go. Love to bring your margaritas, because we're going to make margaritas and we're going to have some fun. So please don't forget to come to that. That'll be a lot of fun. Also, please, we had to create a new page in Facebook because they would not let us change our Priestess View page. So please go to Facebook and type in Witch Times Television, and our new page will come up. And please like that page, because we're basically starting over from scratch with the page. We were allowed to change the
group, but not the page.
The group page. So that still stays the same. But please, by all means, if you haven't already, please join our group. And so I wanted to point those two things out also, to please like our pages, to give us that kind of support, because now we're going to have to build our page back up again. Facebook wouldn't let us to do that. Okay. And also, I promised Goddess Starr, Goddess Starr and I, we love you guys so much, and we're business women, and for some reason we always forget to promote something for ourselves.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to promote something for ourselves today. No, Goddess Starr, you were talking about your journey to the Underworld.
Right. Yes, I forgot about those. Yeah, let me see.
Packages that you were creating.
Yeah. This is one of them. See, this is the raven, and it's a coffin. And the reason is because it's called Journey to the Realm of the Underworld. It is, I guess in a way, it's very much like that past life regression. And it comes with everything inside that you would need, including chalice, a candle. I will be doing a dressed glittered candle for everyone with what they'll be doing. And it will literally be that journey that you will take to the realm of the underworld based on the spirit animal that's on the front of the all of the coffins. and you're going to be aspecting a lot of what that animal spirit represents, and journeying into the underworld with whatever gods and goddesses that we will be guiding you with a meditation, and learning from them. They're all meant to take you there and help you learn about yourself and come back with many attributes that you need in this lifetime. It's more like a base of going through past life regression, revocation, and all of that, and at the same time with therapy sessions for yourself. And we are guiding you through it with all. You'll have everything that you need in here. And if you did not notice it, it has an altar cloth. Okay. There's a chalice. There's the 3 stones that I mentioned to you. Will be 3 big stones. There's a bath water that you need to take for this journey. Chalices. I mentioned the chalice, cauldron, everything in here just for your needs, and the spell work that we're going to be giving you. And there's a booklet that comes with a complete information, a complete ritual, and everything that you need for your protection. And this is because, you know how we told you guys earlier that it is best if you know what you're doing when you take these journeys, whether it's shamanic journeying or whatever. Because of the type of journey this is, you need more protection and more of everything. And that's why we give you everything from the ritual and everything to go through, and the meditation to take you there and back, and the stones to keep you tethered, protected, and help you on that journey. And we're not sure yet with the prices because we're still working on it. There's still more to be added to it. But we hope you guys would like it, and let us know your thoughts on it once you get them. And they'll be debuting, I think, in July at Witches Fest. That will be the first time they'll be coming out. And we have them in, and they all hand painted, literally individually, all hand painted. Oh, and they will have graveyard dirt. See, this one is as my friend said who painted it, she said it's the 3 badasses of the Egyptian underworld. Osiris, Horus, and Anubis. You see what I mean? And they're all different. Each of them are very different in the journey that you take with it. So it's all based on what your needs are. And when you look at the booklets and look at everything, you'll decide what your needs are and go with it from there. Or maybe you'll be guided to what your needs are at that particular time in your life. But again, they're all individually hand-painted, and no 2 are alike. We even have, and the graveyard dirt for the Raven will be Edgar Allan Poe's graveyard dirt. We're putting certain ones for certain things because it's based on the journey that you'll be taking individually. And we even have Marie Laveau's dirt for the voodoo love that we're doing. There are many different ones that we have. So we hope you guys will find it interesting and learn a lot from it. So what do you have, Goddess Rhonda?
Okay, so I am still, and I will continue to do this.
Yes, that amazing book.
To promote my book, You Are Not Broken, which is actually doing extremely well. I keep selling out, and I'm glad. And I really think this book can help you if you're having problems, if you've tried all different kinds of spell work, it's not working, or you're an empath. There's very few spell books and things like that are written with empaths in mind, because I am one and teach them. I've got that. If you keep repeating the same patterns over and over, and if you can't change no matter what you try to do, if you keep being in unsatisfactory relationships and can't figure out why you keep ending up in them, if you really need change and you just don't know where to begin, this book is definitely here to help you. You know, a lot of the systems out there are generalized, but this is a system that you customize to you. It's going to teach you how to remove the toxic energy debris caused by past and present traumas, how to remove the energy cords attaching you to negative people and circumstances, even past lives, understanding the lessons that your trials have brought you so that you can move past them and on with your life. It'll teach you how to identify your custom psychic gifts so that you can utilize them to help you manifest your desires. And it will retrain your subconscious so that it works for you and not against you. Because just so that you know, your subconscious rules 88% of what you do. You might think you know what you're doing, but everything is happening on a subconscious level. And this book will help you with your subconscious behaviorism, to point it out to you and help you to get over it and to remove it. And it will also teach you how to use emotional shape shifting to raise your vibration and attract what you want. It's getting tons of really good reviews on Amazon.
Yay,
We get
I'm so proud of you, babe.
but
Awesome.
thank you. You are not broken, again, and you can find it on Amazon. And if you've just been struggling, or you, even if you're a newbie and you want to learn how to do things, this is a really good book to teach you how to do that. It teaches you how to cleanse your home of evil and entities and all kinds of things. And so you can go to Amazon, read the reviews for yourself. You can also look inside and read portions of the book if you like, to see if it resonates with you. But give it a shot and check it out. So with that said, so you got to start. I promised we would promote, and we did.
Yes, good, because we never do.
But I remembered.
Yes.
And so now we are going to finish up. We'll do the astrology in our next show. Now, keep in mind, because we are doing the Midnight Margarita, Sexy Sage, and Crone show on the
Friday.
4th, which is Friday the 4th.
Yeah.
We won't have a show on the 7th. We will have a show on the, I think that's the 14th. Will be the next show, just so that you know that. So anyway, we are going, but please do come to our Friday show. We're really excited about that, and we're looking forward to getting a little tipsy, because we're going to get our drink on, and we're going to talk about all kinds of, we're just going to let it out there, no holds barred. If there's something you want to talk about, like if you're like, oh, I don't know how to get my sexy back because I'm having this problem, or this bothers me, or whatever it is, by all means, go into our Witch Times Television Facebook group and tell us what sexy things you want to talk about. And we can add those into the show, especially if it's going to be an ongoing kind of a thing.
And that particular show is 18 and over. You have to be older. I am sorry, because we want to be able to talk, the way we do without anyone feeling offended.
So yes, and we will be talking freely about everything. So
yes,
you're on the honor system that this is a show for people who are 18 and over. Years old and over. That's really important, because we don't want any mothers coming up to us
saying, well, you guys did so and so and so to our kids.
Do something with their kids or whatever. So anyway, although I have to tell you, with today's rap songs and the music out there,
I know, right? Yes.
Technically, what we talk about is G-rated, considering what they can watch. Because they can actually watch on primetime television doing all kinds of stuff. So, but still, out of respect, we're saying 18 and over. Okay, so let's head over to our chat room.
And you do the reading this time, because it's like fighting the gravity with that
blue arrow and the scrolling, and it's very, very frustrating.
Yeah. Okay,
so let me find where we are.
Oh, Jakey's hilarious. I'm going to let you read that one she put. She's funny. I love her. I love all our people in that chat room. They're awesome.
Okay, we saw that one. Okay, we saw the Lapis Lazuli. Walker Between the Worlds. Okay, saw that. Okay, so we've got, I think I'm starting in the right place. Okay, we've got Cool Flavor, who says, yes, I'm so glad you're covering the dangers of being in other realms, so important to be aware of. Yes, it is. And nothing wrong with a nice circle of protection for these moments. Absolutely. We've got Soul, who says, I keep my stones by my bed to use on demand. Good for you. I've had past life regressions. It told me a lot that I'm still dealing with some of my deep-seated issues. Many of us are, Goddess. Jay Key says, I entered this life born in the desert, scared to death of water. I hated it with no reason. I overcame it, but had learned that I drowned as a child in a past life. It's very common.
It makes sense. Oh, and just so you know how you said a lot of us are still dealing with it? You're absolutely right, because not just that, sometimes it takes more than one time with those regressions.
Yes, it does.
Because one time it's just not going to undo a lifetime of certain issues that you've been dealing with. So
Exactly.
it takes a few sessions, and you will know when it's all done, but it will take a few. It
It
will.
takes a few. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Peggy says, I'd like to do a past life experience. You can contact me or Goddess Starr. We can set up an appointment. We've got Soul, who says, I was an Asian woman in one of my lives. I was a royal. I was a rebel. I'm sorry. Okay, wait a minute. I was an Asian woman in one of my lives, was in a royal. I was a rebel. I was paraded in front of the people, stripped naked, head shaved, bald, and beat. That's horrible.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
Goddess Ember says, me too, Goddess Rhonda, and I was screaming. I helped all of you. One hit me hardest as a Pacific Islander. So in love 1 minute, then running from him because he was trying to kill me. Can't figure it out. We can help you figure that out for you. We've got Goddess Monica, who says, I've had past life memories. They're incredibly insightful, but she's only had one regression. Cool Flavor says, what are some good resources for do-it-yourself past life regressions, or like what are some ways they are done? Well, basically, we're going in through a state of hypnosis. Now, there are videos and things you can watch to do a do-it-yourself past life regression. If it is your first one and you're not used to them, I'm going to again strongly suggest that you actually have a professional with you when you do it for you, because you can go into some very traumatic past lives that you may not be ready for to sit by yourself and see. And it can cause a real shock to the system, or you might need someone to pull you out before you even get there. If we see you tensing up and you're getting upset and it's not looking good, we'll pull you out before we even let you see, because you might not be ready to.
There have been people who've gotten violent, like I mean really violent, defending themselves in whatever lifetime that they're in.
It's really, you're better
It can get
off.
traumatic. It can be very traumatic to a lot of people.
Very. It
And
can be.
again, the reason we're saying that is not because of anything other than because we're not sure what we're facing. Until you go into one, no one knows what we're facing. It's an open road and we don't know, and it's a matter of what comes up we deal with at the time, which is why, especially if you've not done it before, start off with a professional and go with it from there. Once you've done it many times, then you can go home and start doing a lot of these things alone. But consider, you go online, you pull up these things and you're doing it, and these things are hitting you and there's no one there to help you deal with it.
Exactly.
And you're going through either a violent time or whatever. It can be dangerous.
It can be, and you might need to be pulled out. I've done past life regressions on people, and I could see they're going into trouble and they weren't really ready to see it, and I pulled them out of it because it was too much for them. So you don't want to if you're just doing this, I strongly suggest you do not try to do it yourself until you have some experience with it. Go to a professional and have it done that way. This way, at least if you get into trouble, because there are people, I'm sure they mean well, but there are people that I feel are very irresponsible. I was listening to this lady on a referral of someone else who she does this this past life meditation to help you gain wealth or something. I can't remember what it was for. It was something to do with gaining wealth and prosperity and going backwards in time. Okay. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll listen to her. And it was a broadcast, a podcast over whatever internet radio it was on. So I was listening. Now, as she was counting, she was bringing you into the meditation, she was relaxing you, and then she was taking you backwards, and you're growing younger. And she said, you may see things that are very traumatizing. Just ignore them and keep going. As soon as she said that,
oh my gosh, no, she didn't.
Yes, she did. And
oh my gosh.
As soon as she said that, I have a lot of trauma between me and my mother. And I flashed in on some issues with my mother, and I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going here. And I pulled myself out. But I'm experienced enough that if I'm going in a place I don't want to go, I can pull myself out. And I started thinking, what about all these people sitting at home in their living room, listening to her? And what if they are experiencing some kind of trauma, and now they are there all by themselves, and maybe they can't pull themselves out, or it brings up horrible things that now they have to deal with that they weren't ready to see yet. It was really eerie. So I'm sure she had good intentions, but as a professional, it was extremely irresponsible. of her
You
to
know what
do
I
that.
think? I hate to say this. It sounds like because she was doing it in a group fashion and online like that, in her head, she was doing it for free. So I don't have to go through all the channels of protection or say exactly what I know I'm supposed to be saying properly because you're getting it for free. See, the attitude changes when you know you're a responsible person in this situation. You and I, the minute you said that, I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What do you mean she said that? That was, to me, I find that irresponsible, but that's just me. To each his own.
Yes,
And if
very
that's the people who,
irresponsible.
you know, I'm okay with people, what you want to take onto your own, I walk away. I honestly, at one time, I remember I used to really say to people, please don't do that or whatever and get concerned. But I can't be concerned about everyone. They're all adults and I walk away now. To each his own.
Mm-hmm. And the way she didn't say that in the beginning, like, be careful, if you've got things in your past life you don't want to see, or your things in your present life, because it was present life counting down.
Right.
She waited until you were already in a meditative state.
That is not good.
Doing the visual, and as soon as you say you might see things that are traumatic, the first thing your mind's going to do is flash it on trauma, because she has that suggestion.
Because she took you there. She took you there.
Suggestive state already, because she's taking you through the relaxation and everything else, and then she puts that in there, and I'm like, oh my God. And thankfully I can pull myself out because I have that experience. But there's a lot of people sitting there, they don't know how to pull themselves out. So I mean, you can do what you want, but of course, this is strictly our opinion. But I strongly suggest that if you have not done this before, and even just doing it once before is not enough. If you don't do this kind of work on a semi-regular basis, please do not do this by yourself, because
you said something that was interesting. And if you do this professionally, please make sure that you don't say words like what that woman said before.
Yeah, that was just...
Please, that is irresponsible on every part. And one of the things I remember, a woman was doing with us in the group one time. And again, I pulled myself out. Warn people when you know you're taking them through certain journeys, and you are, like, she went into snakes and spiders and all of that. And I'm terrified of snakes. Because at one of my lifetimes, I died in a pit of snakes. Okay. And here she was without asking any of us. And she's talking about a giant snake and it's going to crawl all over you. And I'm like, excuse me? Things like that. Exactly. I was like, right away, I popped out. I was like, okay, excuse me. No. And I walked away. I went out. I left the room and I was like, you are supposed to give people warnings. You are supposed to give people this because you don't know what their fears are. That's presumptuous on your part, and it could damage people. If I died in one of my lifetimes in a pit of snake and you're having a giant snake crawl all over me, no, that's not going to work. I'm working on mine with snakes, but I mean, you don't take that upon yourself to do with me or anyone, and I was not the only one who left. So you gotta really be, for the professional, if that's what you're calling yourself, be aware and be smart. And for those who are doing this by themselves and it's your, even if it's not, if your first time, or even if it's just you've been once to one professional, but now you want to do it yourself, please be aware and be careful and be aware of the dangers. Okay. That's just me. I'm sorry.
No, and she's absolutely right. Okay, so let me just find out where I was. Okay, so that was cool flavor. So that was the response to that. And then we've got Monica, who says, oh, that's brilliant, Goddess Rhonda. Renounce non-serving vows. Yes, please do. You'll find things get better. J. Key says, for me, it took a psychic friend of mine to go back and look. I know I'm an old soul, but that's the only past life experience that came up. And Soul says that my soul does not forget. It's true. Your soul does not forget. It's the same soul. You've had the same soul all this time. We just changed bodies. We've got JQ says arranged marriages happen a lot longer than marrying for love. That is true. And they still happen in various parts of the world.
Yep, it still does.
Spiritualities. You still have to do that. Let's see. We've got Soul who says, I would like another one to deal with money issues. We've got Monica who says, you cursed your damn self. Watch what you say. And you got to deal with the consequences eventually. It's true. It's
Yep.
true. We can actually, and I call it self-induced karma, that we can do things to ourselves because of our guilty conscience from old past lives and things like that.
And I have seen people do that. I've seen them do it.
Absolutely.
It's what I call cursing themselves.
Okay. Jakey says, I have my PJs on now, so already ahead of the game. No PJs, Jakey. You have to come in something silk, satin, lacy, or unless your PJs happen to be silky, satin, and lacy and sexy, you have to come in something very, very sexy. And everybody's on the honor system. Sassy Moxie says, hooray, y'all, bringing sexy back. That's right. We are bringing sexy back. We've got Goddess Bella saying, I will be here Friday night. It's going to be a blast. Yes, it will. Jasmine Moonglow, Midnight Margarita, Sexy Sage and Crone Show is this coming Friday, depending on where you are. For East Coast, it will be at midnight. For Pacific, it's 9 o'clock. Mountain, it's 10 o'clock. Central, it's 11 o'clock. We've got Bella. Hello, everyone. Hello, beautiful Goddess Bella. J.K. saying, yes, it's Friday the 3rd, this Friday coming up.
I thought it was the 4th. Isn't it Friday the 4th?
Is it Friday the 4th? I don't know. Let me pull up my calendar yet again.
I think so.
Hang on for a second. What's coming up? It takes a minute.
I'm going to write that down.
Friday. Yes, it is Friday the 4th. Excuse us. Friday the 4th.
So midnight Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Mountain.
Yes, and, May 4th.
And 9 p.m. Pacific.
Yes. And that's May 4th we've got coming up. And let's see. Let me just find myself. And Ember Marie says, I'll be here Friday. PJs and kombucha. You go, girl. Although it's gotta be sexy PJs, remember. And we've got Monica saying, whoop, whoop, bow, chicka, wow, wow. That's right.
I love that.
Okay, so we've established that it's the 4th. Jasmine's putting it on her calendar.
Yes, I'm doing that right now and to tell everybody, and I'll put it in the group also.
Let's see. Ember is cracking up over something Goddess Monica said, and Ember says, okay, Goddess Starr, I'm in then. Sexy it is. I'll wear lavender. You go, girl, with the lavender.
There you go, girl.
Bella says, let it all hang out. Jasmine Moongo says, hey, Starr,
I love Bella. She's like, let it all hang out.
Yeah, let it hang out. Let it all hang out. Yes, happy Beltane to everyone. Bella loves your box. I would love to get one. Kiki says, that's really cool. Soul says, love it. Peggy says, amazing. Veronica says, love it.
Yeah, thank you. Becky, and she draws each one individually. So awesome. Thank you.
Beautiful artist.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got someone new. Becky, welcome, Becky. Becky Rose, who says, I've been listening to you guys for only a couple of days. I'm really glad I tuned in, and thank you. You are so welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Glad to have you here.
We've got Goddess Yada, who says, yes, love it. JK says, I want one. Soul says, ooh, I want one. Bella says, how can we get one? Monica says, way cool, I dig it. Was that the end? Oh, no, it's not. Hold on. Let me just, it's scrolling all by itself.
I know, it's hard to tell sometimes.
Hold on, it scrolled down. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, scrolling's an issue with that blue arrow in the middle.
I know. Okay, so we've got Soul who says, so great, feeling witchy. I love feeling witchy, don't you? I could never imagine not being witchy. I could never imagine that. Monica says, I'm sick of the underworld, to be honest. I need a higher world to bring me up. Well, we can arrange that. Soul says, I love your book. Thank you so much, Goddess Soul. I'm so grateful for you. Goddess Yada, great book. I have one. Thank you so much, beautiful Goddess Yada. Kiki and Monica, follow your heart. You control your show booth. I like that. You control your show booth. I might be stealing that from you. Jay Keys is like, rise like a phoenix. And Monica saying, yes, working on rising. Catalin Matza says, good evening, blessed be. Happy full moon, happy Beltane.
Good to have you here.
Good to have you. Ember says, need to figure out if I hurt my twin flame and know why this is relevant to me. It was a traumatic death by a lover. This makes sense. We'll totally get a copy of your book. Empath is no joke. Yes, and thank you. My book will help you, I'm sure. We've got Kiki, who says, I start every day by smudging my home and giving thanks while listening to music with my windows open. It sets the tone and joy of the day. That's a beautiful way to set your day up.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful.
And happy. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
We've got Ember, who says, love being a light worker too much. We've got Veronica, who says, thank you for another great show. Mary meet again all. Happy Beltane to you as well. J.K. says, I'll cover my 11-year-old cat's ears on Fridays. Yes, you should. Because, we don't know how that's going to affect her.
Yes.
We've got Monica, who thought that was funny. And Ember Marie says, it's okay, your cat's 55 years old. Yeah, right. Your cat can handle it.
I knew they would find somewhere around it.
We've got Elizabeth. Hello, goddesses. Hello to you, beautiful goddess. Peggy has to go. Marry me to you as well, sweetie. We'll see you again.
Yes, Peggy.
Ember says, thank you, goddesses, for caring enough to guide us through such tasks. We are here to help you. Jasmine says, find someone trained by a doctor. Hold on, it just scrolled away. I hate when it does that.
When that happens, I know. And you're sitting there going, no, don't go away.
Trying to find it. Trained by Dr. Brian Weiss for past life regressions. And Goddess Starr and I also do past life regressions. We can do them for you too. Or you can do, you can go to whoever you wanted to go through. Let's see. Okay, so we've got Goddess Bella says, that's funny. I'm doing QHHT and I find your higher self doesn't let you go where you're not ready to go or see. I've actually found that people will go where they're not ready to see, and it can be very traumatic for them, and I have to pull them out. Let's see. Jasmine says, Dr. Weiss wrote many lives, many masters, and through time into healing, he's a psychiatrist. Jasmine continues to say, I agree, Bella. I did a group past life, and all I got was a Native American nation where there was a group of people, possibly the Trail of Tears, walking in a single file. I saw a baby in a papoose. Not sure if I'm the baby or the person walking behind the mother with the papoose. Bella says, yes, our higher selves know what we are ready for. Jasmine says, my higher self won't even reveal future events to me, probably because they're going to be sad and painful. I rarely enjoy divination anymore because of it. Well, your higher self isn't letting you see that because you don't want to see it. It's like, no, you're not going to see it. And so we're trying to protect you. It's a self-protection. But there are many people where the higher self does want you to see it so you can get over it, but you might not be ready for it and reject it. It's two separate things there. Starr, are you drinking pina coladas and did you get caught in the rain? Haha. Oh, come on. I love pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
The one that I'm going to go with is the midnight margaritas. I'm going to make my margarita.
There you go.
Is that what you're talking about? I'm definitely making margaritas. I'm not bringing my wine. So for Friday, my wine is going to stay there, and I'm going to make my margaritas with salt around the top and all of that.
Yeah, we're going to go and do the whole thing. Okay, hold on, because we did it again. We scrolled away, and now I've got to find, I'm sorry. Okay, so Kiki says, I'm out, ladies. Got to get up early. Mañana.
All right, have a good night, hon.
You have a great night, goddess. Ellen says, I can't wait. She's going to be wearing all in red. You go, girl. Jasmine says,
all right.
Past life was
there
done.
You go.
There you
there
go.
You go.
The group past life was done at a New Age Expo in New York City back in the 90s. Bella says, try it again. Don't give up. There's so much to learn, and it can be hard, but so healing. It is true. It's very healing.
Yeah, it is.
That find someone you trust, which is good. That's good advice, Goddess Bella. Jasmine says, thanks, Bella. I cannot afford it right now. Actually, my self-discovery is more about dealing with my newly diagnosed autism and how to deal with it in my change in career. Good for you for actually finding that out and addressing it. I'm sure you will deal with it accordingly, though it doesn't seem to have affected you badly, just hearing from you here with us. Um, Bella goes on to say, we need to feel safe in order for us to allow the answers to come out. This is true. Catalin says, I'm glad we have a choice. And Jasmine says, also, after years of fighting the state of New Jersey, I will finally get access to my original birth record. So more genealogy and self-discovery. Excellent. Good for you. My past life is more scientific through DNA testing. Catalin says, yeah, bring sexy back. We're gonna do. Elizabeth says, it's Liz. Liz, you're so cute. I left boxing and rushed to get on to listen. Love this segment and need to get with you for a past life regression whenever you're ready, Goddess Liz. I'm actually glad that you managed to make it to the show. We've got, so Goddess Jasmine says, I found out that I may have genetic ties to either Carthaginians or Phoenicians and Greco-Roman by the way of the Byzantine Empire. That's very way cool.
Yeah.
Catalin's like, yes, for Friday. Bella says the ego steps in too. And Jasmine says, put the lime in the coconut. I think that's
the one. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Put the lime in the coconut.
There you go. All righty. So that is our show for today. We are truly looking forward to Friday's show and getting our sexy on and, having a good time with that. So we hope to see you all there and, enjoy your full moon, enjoy your Beltane, and just be happy, guys. And, we are, as always, we're just so grateful that you join us and you share with us and, because the show is about you. And again, if you have topics that you want us to address or things you would like to know more about and explore, by all means, please go to our Facebook group, which we have renamed the Witch Times Television Facebook group, and let us know, what you want to talk about. If you don't want to say it out loud, then you can private message us and say, hey, I'd like to talk about this or learn about that. And we will, if we don't know about it, we'll do the research. We don't know everything. We don't pretend to. But if there's something that we don't know about, we're happy to do the research because we love learning all the time anyway. So it actually gives us an opportunity to expand our own knowledge, which we actually enjoy. So please, by all means, let us know. And so with all that said, marry me, marry Paul, and marry me again. Thank you so much, everyone. Love you, and we send you kisses and hugs. And we will see you Friday with your margarita.
Friday night for midnight margarita.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, everyone. The lime and the coconut, girls.
Have a great week, and we will see you Friday. On Friday.
Okay. Take care.